My name is Roger Ashton. Welcome to Concordia University's library. This interview is about this project which we have put together. After so many years teaching at Concordia's University, I've put together many manuscripts, and now they're going to be presented to the world. I've been Concordia's Tai-Chi teacher in the recreational and instructional athletics department since 1982. At that time, when I started Tai Chi, there were almost no books. Some of you will remember what the Tai Chi situation was like in the 1970s. After finding my first teacher in 1978, Li Manchan, at the Hongwei Tai Chi Institute, I began searching for books, but there weren't any. A few good books were published, not enough for my taste. I still want books to read on Tai Chi. Finally, I wrote the books myself. I wrote many books. I wrote all the books that I wanted to read myself at that day, at that time. Now, somebody starting Tai Chi will have the chance to actually sink their teeth into books that address the problems. There are many problems facing Western people who study Tai Chi. Culture, language, yes, you can say religion. Many, many things. Philosophy, all culture and civilization, all of these things, I needed to read about them. Finally, I wrote about them. Now, here's my point. This major project will help someone. I don't know who. I used to think there were 10,000 people in the world who were hungering for this literature. Now I think it's only 1,000. It doesn't matter. Now, about myself. I'm from Montreal. I found out about Tai Chi in 1973. I started studying Tai Chi in 1978. My teacher, Li Manchan, now 86, studied with Li Shi, known as Li Suk, who was the defender of the Wu family school, and the assistant. So, when Wu Dai Kwai and Wu Kung Yi died in 1970, he just continued teaching in the park. My teacher became his #1 student. And only much later on did we realize he was the best in the world for 15 years. We had no idea. So he told me, the quality is gone from the Kung Fu world that he knew. Just passed away in history. Now, regarding the books, there's a long collection, Understanding Tai Chi. There's another collection, a small collection on Qigong. There's a collection introduction on Chinese meditation, very short. Chinese stretching and Xingyi. The Xingyi in this collection is basically rare. It's Liu He Xingyi. Liu He Xingyi is, you can say it's antique, because Liu He Xingyi is like the ancestor of Hebei Xingyi, which has been simplified, and the expressing foot has been changed. Xingyi and Tai-Chi complement each other in this way. Xingyi raises spirit quickly. If you study hard, you can become a decent fighter in 1 year. Tai-Chi is much deeper and philosophical than Xingyi. No question about it. My Shanghai teacher, Gao Wu, was a lineage holder from Peishi, Rome. He studied in Wudang Temple. His teacher studied in Wudang Temple. When I was in Shanghai, Gao Wu was the vice president of Wudang Qigong Association. This was during a period when Qigong was well respected in China, and one of his principal activities was training Qigong doctors. So he trained doctors who administered Qigong as Chinese therapeutic, I almost said medicine, Chinese therapy. No question, both my teachers achieved greatness in their life. I have a few minor teachers. Wang Hongwing, one of Wu Kengyi's disciples. Li Guanghong, also a disciple of Wu Kengyi. And Chinese name. Indonesian name Kinbu. Chinese name Chao Ching Wu, who is a lineage holder of Yan Shao Ho Tai Chi. All these influences are from old-fashioned Kung Fu, and they have been imprinted on me as the norm. So that new Tai Chi, new Xingyi, new Qigong seem a little bit, how should I say, too new. They seem too new to me. Now, it doesn't matter how you approach this kind of thing. What matters is that you get results. And in my case, because of the language, civilization, culture, and other issues associated with learning Tai Chi from traditional men, I spent too much time, too many decades spent learning Tai Chi and Qigong and these arts. One of my hopes from these books is that I will save someone 20 years from their life. There is no real need to spend 30, 40 years studying this material. It's because of the significant problems involved in cross-cultural studies that people spend 20, 30, 40 years doing this. Now, it's true. Many Chinese people get stuck in the same quagmire for philosophical reasons. So many people on this planet are philosophically naive. it's very difficult to raise yourself to a high level of distinction. Just to understand the force of culture, language, and philosophy on your own mind takes some doing, takes some effort, so that you can only call that independence of thought. And then finally reaching independence of action. There's no real need to reinvent these wheels. But everybody has to pass through the same sieve. Everybody must actually discover what it is to think for themselves and function for themselves. I wrote about these things. Not all the books are, how should I say, they aren't gems of literature, but there are many of these books are significant enough to be able to communicate to someone. And I will say this. From the very beginning, when I started this effort, I noticed a real difference between the students who read the books and those who didn't. The students who read the books bumped up immediately. Their practice became richer, more profound, more meaningful, and more productive. The people who didn't read the books just kept on floundering around and struggling with their own ignorance. My hope is that someone out there will discover this literature and will turn it to good use and save themselves 20